we decided to do a little interviews with the teams to know each other better and to understand how was the process for you, production process or acting process or directing process. So we are very happy and excited that we are having you with us today. Thank you for coming here and congratulations. Also, I would like to begin with a classic question. Like, can you tell us how you two meet and how did you decide to do this film? How was the beginning of the movie?
So I go first, and then we get Anna's side. For me, I started working on Voyager a lot of time ago. I would say midway through 2021. I sort of had the idea I wanted to make, and I decided to do it as a thesis film for my film school, which is in Barcelona. Then we started sort of at the beginning. We wanted to do a crowdfunding campaign, so we were looking for actors to play the teaser, just for the teaser, right? And Anna just got into the casting. I saw her profile and I was instantly like, whoa, she's actually really like the character I want to make. And so she came on board for the teaser. The shooting was great. And I was just really blown away by Anna's acting and in general, sort of how she fit the character. And so I started then after that, I started writing the screenplay after having shot the teaser. And I kept going back to sort of when I was writing, I always pictured Camila, the protagonist, as Anna. It was really hard for me to separate the two. So I kind of wrote it having Anna in mind. Then I still wanted to do a casting, but I mean, deep down I knew it was going to be Anna. So yes, of course, she ended up coming on board, and I mean, it was really great. I don't know what her side is, but on my side, I was incredibly happy to just come across her and have her as the main character.
My English is so bad. O sea, Pablo, ¿me puedes ir traduciendo?
Yeah, I can sort of interpret, translate a little bit.
Te ayudamos, Ana. We will help you, don't worry.
Gracias.
Yes, we will help you.
Yo recuerdo ver bueno, que me hablara una chica del equipo como para decirme que daban el perfil de Mar, en este caso, que entregara casting o que enviara fotos o algo. ¿Vas diciendo o yo sigo hablando y luego tú traduces?
No, sigue hablando, me lo estoy apuntando lo que vas diciendo.
De locos, vale, perfecto. Entonces, recuerdo cómo enviarlo tal y que me contestara Pablo diciéndome como los días, un poquito de horarios así un poco por encima y yo como, bueno, trabajo, no puedo. Y al final fue como, también supongo que una cosa así como de actriz principiante, de un poco de miedito, a algo que de repente iba a ser más grande de lo que había hecho. Y al final me atreví y le dije que sí, falté al trabajo, falté a todo y me presenté allí y fue como increíble. Me lo pasé genial, conocí a un montón de gente y cuando hablaba con Pablo del personaje y todo era como vale. Y ahí, desde ahí.
So I'm just going to translate. I took some notes. So she actually she got contacted by a girl from our crew. So she got contacted through social, and she just sent the materials to me. When I received them, I sort of sent her a rough outline of what the schedule would be, and she just checked her work schedule and she was like, no, I can't do this. I have work to do. Unfortunately, I cannot be a part of the shooting. She's also saying that she felt she was a little bit scared because it was a little bit of a bigger shoot than she usually did.
I'm sorry. So she was the beginning of her career when she acts in this. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, you did a fantastic job. I can tell
Thank you.
Amazing. It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, please continue, Pablo, please.
Yeah. So at the end, she said, might as well, and she missed work. She came to the shoot. She had a great time, and she was talking to me sort of about the character. and she just felt really into the project. And yes, we ended up shooting the film, and she said she enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, we enjoyed a lot too. Thank you. Marty, you're also welcome. We just began before you. I'm just asking, can you please introduce yourself and how did you meet, guys? We're just starting from here. Can you tell us how did you involved into this team?
My story with the project is kind of unusual, let's say, because in the beginning I wasn't supposed to be part of this project, or at least not an important part of it. I was working in the crew with another director of photography that started the project, but he fell mid project. Basically, he was there at the beginning, but as the project moved forward, he just left for personal reasons. And Pablo needed to find another director of photography. I was also director of photography at that time. I was working in other projects, but he contacted me and he said, I was looking at your portfolio and everything, and I would like to work with you if you agree with that. And I already knew the project. I already knew what it was about and the style, the aesthetics, and everything. And it was a very quick decision to say yes and to get into the project with Pablo. And honestly, there's no regrets whatsoever. It was an amazing experience that I am very proud of to this day. Definitely. So to answer the first part of your question, my name is Marti Cirera. I'm the director of photography of Voyager. And that's the story of how we all started our history together. Yeah.
Yeah. We are happy that you involved to the crew after. So we are happy that the other director of photography just left.
We don't think about him anymore.
You did a perfect job. So
thank you.
Can we also talk about this? Question is for you, Pablo. So you wrote this story and you shooted it, and how the story originated and how was the production process?
Okay, so on the story side, I read a short story about astral projection, and I found it really, really interesting. I thought that it was a really underused concept in film. I thought that it had something really interesting. So at the beginning, I was sort of having this idea of, okay, I want to tell a story using this medium, using astral projection and travel outside of body experience, etc. But I wasn't quite sure what kind of story did I want to tell. And at a certain point, it just dawned on me that I thought that the best way to tell a story like this would be sort of mix two genres that don't usually match, which is a thriller, a noir thriller, or a classic detective story with fantasy elements, which would be astral projections. And once I sort of knew that, I started getting, I generally pivot towards anti-heroes, sort of corrupted characters. So the character of Camila just came pretty well. And I think it really fit the story of someone that needs connection, needs to get out of her loneliness, and through that need of connection actually gets corrupted and her morals distorted. So that's on the story side. Of course, the screenplay, as always, it's really tough to write, and it was a pretty high concept, so we had to bring a lot of stuff down for a short film, but I'm pretty happy how it turned out. On the production side, so as it was a thesis project, we were having some very clear deadlines, and we knew when we needed to shoot, sort of knew the money we had, etc. So it was a little bit of also, I think, on my experience, I think it was a really fulfilling and a project I feel made us grow, because we all did this project as students. So it's pretty hard to make a bigger or big film while all the crew and actors being amateur and students. So I think a lot of the process was trial and error. Sort of, okay, what can we get away with while being students? For instance, if I had a really complex camera angle, sort of a lot of movement, etc., I had to sometimes bring that down because, I mean, we didn't have the mediums to sort of make it as good as it could be. So it was a lot of trial and error to trying to have a really good-looking end product while not sacrificing too much of the directing choices and narrative choices.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And I still can't believe that it's a thesis student project. Thank you. I would like to ask to Camilla. I said Camilla. So yeah, to Ana. So yeah, you played the character Camilla, but for me, you are Camilla. So and you did a very, very great job. It's very hard to believe that it was in the beginning of your career. You were amazing. And I would like to ask a classic question for sure. How did you prepare for the role, and how did you find Camilla inside of you? And I would like to ask also the detailed makeup scenes. How were they for you? How was the experience of these scenes?
O sea, de maquillaje.
Sí, la pregunta la has pillado entera. ¿O?
Sí, creo que sí. Vale, a ver. Creo que es como la primera vez que me quito de todo para poder hacer un personaje, porque es muy diferente a mí, extremadamente diferente a mí. De hecho, Pablo todo el tiempo me estaba pidiendo menos, menos, menos. Y era como un poco confuso para un personaje que no expresa mucho, que no sabe cómo interactuar, cómo relacionarse, cómo expresarse ni con el cuerpo, ni con la cara, ni con nada. Entonces, de repente era como todo hacerlo mucho más pequeño y opté por todo lo contrario a lo que me han enseñado, que es no tener nada. O sea, como aparte de todas las referencias que me dio Pablo, me dio referencias de todo tipo. Yo me las miré, estuve ahí como estudiando un poco, pero fue un poco como deshacerme de todo y no tener nada. Como si fuese un robot que empieza de cero, un poco, digamos. Y con el proceso de maquillaje, un show. Nunca me habían hecho heridas, eso también fue muy guay. Y lo que más las lentillas blancas. Porque en los momentos en los que estoy en viaje astral, que me he tomado la pastilla, estoy con los ojos en blanco. Sí que es verdad que consigo hacer así, pero muerta se mueven. Entonces Pablo dijo, pues ponemos lentillas blancas. Y eso fue literalmente estar ciega durante todo el tiempo que las llevaba puestas, viendo solo sombras y con gente que me tenía que ir acompañando a todos lados. Y sí que es verdad que en un momento, eso creo que fue el primer día, el día de plató con la muerte.
In the first day, right?
Sí.
Yes.
Recuerdo a Martí súper preocupado porque, bueno, con todo el show que montasteis con la grúa para la cámara en medio y tal, hacía mucho ruido. Entonces Martí, antes de que me pusieran las lentillas, me cogió, me metió dentro del plató y me explicó cómo funcionaría todo. Por si de repente notaba algo muy cerca de mí, si escuchaba ruidos raros, que no me asustara, que todo estaba controlado. Y ahí me quedé mucho más tranquila.
What was the first scene? What was the first day you said? What was the first scene of the film?
La escena de plató con los.
In the first day, the first scene.
Sí. Los policías mirando toda mi habitación y yo muerta en la cama con el tiro en la cabeza.
Okay, the one that we see, the same scene is the first scene. Okay, that you shoot. Okay. Thank you.
Pues esa, ¿no? Yo estoy...
Creo que el primer día, I think that the first day was actually the grandma scene. The scene when she's talking with the grandma in the hotel. But we shot the set days back to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was kind of the same. I feel like it's a little bit of a blur because we shot, it was like the exact same room, the exact same set, and we sort of changed a little bit of the art direction, but these 2 days were sort of back to back.
Es verdad, es verdad.
The rooms are the same room?
Yes, exactly. Yes, but we changed a bit. Yes.
It was an hotel, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's supposed to be the next room, but we sort of tweaked it a bit to make the change visible. So I'm gonna translate what she said.
Yeah.
So on her character, the process while creating the character, she said it's the first time she gets rid of everything for a character. That it's a really it's a character that's really different to her. I want to add that it's true. She's the complete opposite of the character, which I think was a really interesting challenge for the both of us to sort of create a character that's really different to her. So she said that I constantly was pushing for less expression, less energy, because it's a really toned down character. And for her, it was a little bit confusing to have a character that doesn't express too much. She doesn't know how to interact. She doesn't know how to express with the body. She doesn't know how to express with her face. She's a really like out of society character. So the idea was to make everything smaller and smaller. And she says it's the opposite of what she's been taught in acting, right? That you have to make everything bigger. So with the reference I sent her that she went through, she got through all of them and she found them really interesting. But ultimately it came down to she needs to get rid of everything that makes her sort of start from scratch and just build small. And it's sort of a robot. She says that starts from zero. On the makeup, it was a really crazy process in general. She said she had never done like wounds, so she had never had wound makeup, blood, etc. She found it really cool. But the craziest part was the white thing that went into the eyes. So she can actually turn her eyes white, but they sort of move a little bit. So when she was dead, we actually needed to get some white things to cover that part of her eyes. And once she put them on, she was completely blind. She could only see shadows, and she had to be carried by someone. And on her first day, she had this shot from above, and the camera was set up with kind of like a crane, but she couldn't see much. So Martí came a little bit worried, and before she put her contacts on, he brought her into the set and sort of showed her, okay, this is where you're gonna be standing. This is the camera. This is the way it's being it's working. So don't worry if you hear some noise. It's this. So, and she was a lot calmer after that because it's a little bit scary. So yeah.
Thank you, Ana, and thank you for translating.
Gracias,
I would like to ask Marti. We see detailed and masterful cinematography in the film, and each scene standing out with distinct colors. So can you can you tell us about the process on the set and what kind of atmosphere were you aiming to create with the director? With Pablo.
Basically, since the very beginning, since the first ideas of script and story and everything, it became very clear what the energy and the mood of the story was. And what Pablo said, it's very much structured around the thriller genre and about mystery and detectives and intrigue and everything. So since the very beginning, I knew that we had to work with darkness and shadows a lot, and shoot in a very low-key light in general. And also we very much agreed since the beginning that we liked the neon aesthetics, right? The saturated colors, like very iconic and marked colors in all of the scenes. And taking all of these ideas, I basically like said, let's just have fun, like let's take all of these resources that this genre puts into photography and let's just put them on and do something that is not only beautiful but also contributes really to the story and to the mystery of the story itself. And it was really, really nice, really, really cool. It was a very good experience. First time I worked in this kind of genre and these kind of techniques, and honestly, it was a blast. Very, very, very cool.
Yeah, we think the same.
Yeah. Apart from that, the palettes and the colors itself were based in what could make sense in all of the parts. It was fun to work with fire and to actually work the light that produces the fire itself. It was kind of a moment where I had to think exactly how I was going to film that so that it was beautiful itself. And yeah, that's basically it. Like, the main goal was to have fun while doing it, and I think that I really, really achieved that.
Yeah, it really we understand that as an audience, that you enjoyed a lot, you had fun a lot. So because I really liked the film. It was one of my favorites. Can I say it, Honor? If it is not forbidden to say, it was one of my favorites, and thank you. There is only one last question for our director, Pablo. The decision to split the story between past and present adds an extra layer on the film. So I would like to ask about this. Is this the choice that you had in the beginning of the project?
So actually, at the beginning, yes, it was something I always thought about starting from the end point, but I wasn't thinking of intertwining narratives until a little bit later on. So I always knew where I wanted to start the film and where I wanted to end it, but I wasn't quite sure how exactly to do the rest. I'm someone that really enjoys intertwining narratives. Generally, my films have been non-linear. I think if you can pull it off and it's interesting for the story, that's a layer of complexity that's really cool. So in this case, I think that it was, it sort of felt fit like a glove. I feel like the mystery elements are really heightened by having a non-linear narrative. I think that the supernatural is also something that you can play a little bit with the information you give to the viewer, sort of to create also a little bit of a puzzle. And I thought that it was a no-brainer for the film come a certain point. Also, I understand that for a short film, having a split narrative can sometimes be confusing, and it's something that I think that would probably fit better a feature film. But I also, it was the way I wanted to tell the story, so I didn't want to bring it down to have it fit on a short. I wanted to go all out as much as possible.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. Thank you for being here. If you want to add something or say something, please say it now.
Just quickly thank the festival for having us. Thank Martí and Ana again for being a part of the project, coming in here and talking.